I just think it was kind of like Carson Wentz is now on the clock, kind of like Aaron Rodgers is. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, instead of drafting him receiving help or a running back or an offensive lineman, they drafted his long-term succession plan. And I don't imagine Aaron Rodgers was watching that draft too impressed with what the Green Bay Packers did in round one. I can't imagine Carson Wentz watching the 53rd overall pick. I can't imagine he was too happy too, because he had to have been thinking the same thing. Okay, we got Jalen Reagor in round one. We could have drafted another wide receiver with the 53rd overall pick. We could have drafted Zach Bond, the linebacker who went third round to the New Orleans Saints. We could have drafted him with the 53rd overall pick. And there were so many needs, or, we could have went cornerback with the 53rd pick. Those were kind of three needs that the Eagles needed to do, but they draft a quarterback because Howie Roseman, the general manager, says he didn't come out and say the name, but he said we passed on a guy in the third round in 2012. We all assume he's referring to Russell Wilson, who went to the Seahawks, and he kind of says we didn't want to make that same mistake again. Well, if you have Sam Bradford still as the quarterback of the Eagles, that makes a lot of sense to me.
Absolutely.
But when you have Carson Wentz as your quarterback, a guy who is one of the most talented quarterbacks in the NFL, a guy who has shown and played at an MVP caliber level, a guy who can probably lead a team to a Super Bowl, which he probably would have in 2017 had he not got hurt. This pick doesn't make any sense to me. And this is a decision that if you draft Jalen Hurts with the 53rd overall pick, like I said a little earlier, I think there's something long-term you are thinking with this guy, that if Carson Wentz gets hurt again and he misses 3 or 4 games this season and maybe a couple games the season after that, you would deem that you cannot trust him long-term. You would deem that maybe he is not the answer at quarterback, and maybe one day you will turn the keys over to Jalen Hurts, and Jalen Hurts maybe in 2 years' time will be the starting quarterback for the Eagles long term, and they will try to move off of Carson Wentz and get out of his contract when they can. I don't see another reason why you would make this pick at the 53 overall. It just doesn't make sense to me other than that.